Hi folks, welcome back to the Amazing Education Station. It's not financial advice. I'm not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a financial advisor. So somebody moves out of the house that you have for rent. What are you supposed to do? That's the topic today. If this helps you, please thumbs up, like, and subscribe. So it's going to benefit you a lot, especially if people followed the advice on this channel. Gosh, we wouldn't have the world conflicts, wars, and financial trouble and health trouble and all that. Things would be a lot better. So anyway, thank you. Now, so what should you do? Somebody moves out of the house that you have for rent. Hopefully it was a good move out, but anyway, so you should make sure that the air conditioner, heater, fan, everything is turned off unless it's winter time, in which case, of course, you want the house to remain warm. If it's under freezing conditions. Oh, by the way, these videos are not about interesting video quality. It's always about just listening. As I say, it's the information you need to know along with boring video. So you can just ignore the video. So now back to what you should do. Make sure the HVAC system is turned off. Why? It's just purely to save you for unexpected bills. If somebody leaves the air conditioner on or the heater on or something like that. And yeah, it's just unnecessary. Then check your refrigerator. So you want the refrigerator to either be turned on if it's going to be a brief period of time until a new person comes in and working, or you need to prop the doors open so air can circulate. The reason is condensation, and unless it's 100% spotless like a new fridge, if there's condensation inside and the doors are closed, if it's unplugged or turned off, the fridge will smell badly. So the doors really need to be open. And sorry, it's a little bit noisy. There's just a lot of noisy traffic right now. So, okay, so you've got heat off, air conditioner, and the fridge hopefully is unplugged. That's going to save you a little bit of money there. As I said, it depends how long the place is going to be empty. If it's just a few weeks, you could keep the fridge running and not have to worry about that. Okay, now you would want to have a light timer. So buy just a small light or lamp, put it in a safe place with a LED bulb so that it's not going to be dangerous, and have it go off and on so that the light is not on all the time, day and night. So it's more natural, and that's going to be a good thing. So your house doesn't look empty. Have all the drapes closed so people can't see inside, that nobody's in the house. If you have a neighbor or extra vehicle, you can also have that parked. A neighbor's vehicle. I shouldn't say if you have a neighbor. If you have a neighbor that you know and they have an extra car and you want it parked at your place, that could make the house look lived in. Now, why am I saying about this, about lights going off and on, have a vehicle there? Just because there are certain places where people will break into empty houses. You don't want somebody to suddenly live in your house when they're not invited. So it's an important thing to, at least have a light and the curtains closed so that it's not easy to see that somebody's not there. So also, you want the water turned off. However, when I say turned off, I mean the actual water main, which often is in the basement, you can shut off the water for the whole house. And if you're leaving the house for the winter and you want to really save money, then you could do a little bit of research and see how to drain all the water from the pipes and get the water shut off by the utility so that there's no water whatsoever in the pipes. But there's a risk to this, which is that seals can dry out. So, for example, you'll need to put what's called RV antifreeze, RV like recreational vehicle antifreeze. And you don't want to use regular antifreeze, which is poisonous, no, but put RV antifreeze into things like the toilet tanks and the toilet bowl so that it displaces the water and it's not going to freeze. You can do the same thing down each sink or anywhere there would be what's called a drain trap to displace the water. So pour enough down there that the water is gone, and then you have antifreeze, and that's going to protect the pipes. And as I said, if you do some research, now this is for a place that can have freezing conditions, okay? If you live in a place that's very warm, you can ignore all the water draining and all that, and you could just leave regular water. But as I said, now you can run into a problem is, say you have the water turned off and then somebody flushes the toilet. You don't want anybody doing that. And for the same reason, well, a similar reason, you would want to have the RV antifreeze in the tank of the toilet. And you might say that's a little bit strange, and maybe you would ignore the advice until I tell you you need either water or antifreeze in there, depending on the heat in the house, because rubber seals in the toilet tank and other areas, including things like bathtub drains and things, they will dry out if they're not kept wet. What happens when the seal dries out for the drains and for the toilet tank and all that? Actually, anywhere in the house, it really is better to have water pressure maintained with low heat instead of draining everything. And the reason is you will get leaks. As I said, the seals will dry out. What does that mean when they dry out? It means they don't work. So you can have come back, turn the water back on, and then suddenly you have a leaky toilet. It could be leaking in multiple places, like three different places. Your sinks and your bathtubs, it would just be a problem. It would be a problem. And so yeah, it's actually better to maintain the water pressure unless there's a big financial cost, and then you're just aware, well, you're going to have to replace the rubber seals on certain things, and like maybe call a plumber when you restart the house and you get the heat and the water turned back on. Just call a plumber, just have them come in and say, please check the seals and all that. Or you can, if you're good with plumbing, you can do it yourself. All right. So I hope that helps. And then a couple other things you would want to do besides giving me a thumbs up and gently tapping the like button, which helps the YouTube algorithm, as the saying goes. The other things that you can do if the house is empty is make sure the windows are locked, make sure the doors are all locked. Make sure that if you have security lights, which you should have, or security system, make sure those are working at the proper times, like at night and whenever they're supposed to work. You should have a neighbor with an extra key, hopefully a nice friendly neighbor, and because if there's any smoke coming from your house or whatever, then they can call the fire department and they would have a key so that your doors or windows don't need to be broken. And if there are other emergencies, you could have an extra key with your neighbor. And possibly you could, if you're very careful, hide a key yourself at some secure location on the property, but that's not a really good idea. It's better to have a lockbox. So, and then you could hide the lockbox. You don't want, so a lot of people will put a lockbox on a front doorknob. Bad idea. If you have any air conditioners in windows, bad idea, because it provides a method for somebody to get into the house, and a lockbox on a doorknob tells people maybe the house is empty. So that's not good. An air conditioner means that the window is basically not locked and somebody could get in. So that's also not good. So, all right. So hopefully that helps. Of course, when somebody moves out, you need to make sure the utilities are switched over so that you're paying for them, or the new person that might be moving in is going to be paying for the utilities. And then important things will not be shut off, or you won't run into trouble, and you won't be paying for the bills of the previous people, because you make sure that they are paid before they are switched over to you. And so, well, if you have any questions, comments, or things to add that I didn't include, then please give me a message. You might think about termite, mouse, rat, and insect control. You can also do that since the house will be empty. You got to watch out for animals. Okay, take care, and thank you very much. Good luck.